It was widely assumed that we would get more information about the Nightmare Soldiers version of the Digimon Pendulum Z last night, and sure enough, that is exactly what happened. If we take a look at the website for the Digimon Pendulum Z, we see that the map of the folder continent has been updated to include the Nightmare Soldiers area. As with the Nature Spirits and Deep Savers areas, if we click on that location marker, we get to see a new field guide entry for Nightmare Soldiers. As usual, this entry comes with some lovely artwork that depicts some of the Digimon that we will see on this version of the device, including Ghostmon and Witchmon, who we already knew about, as well as Cerberamon and a few versions of Algomon that we can see in the sky there. The entry itself is fairly standard. We see some information about the area and the types of Digimon we can expect to see there. Now, I'm not going to spend any more time with this field guide update because, of course, we have also received a roster update showing us a majority of the Digimon that will be available in the Pendulum Z Nightmare Soldiers version. So let's jump right into that. Once again, we see 25 slots on this roster, with a few of those slots being hidden, but that's okay because we have plenty of other Digimon to look at here. A lot of these returning Digimon are coming to a virtual pet for their first time. So let's go through each of the Digimon that we will be seeing. Up first, we have the baby forms, which are Algomon and Algomon. Algomon is one of those Digimon that evolves several times but keeps the exact same name every time that it evolves. And all of these Algomon forms have gotten quite a bit of publicity as they have been featured in the first few episodes of the Digimon Adventure reboot. That first form may not seem super familiar, but it did appear for a very brief moment in one of the episodes right before it turned into the Baby 2 form of Algomon, which of course Agumon and Taichi fought a whole bunch of those. So with how prominent Algomon was in those episodes, it's not surprising to see it appear here. For the child forms, up first we have Ghostmon, which was a surprise to me. We learned that it was a child level this past week in an upcoming issue of V-Jump, and I had wholly expected it to be a perfect form, but that is not so. It is indeed a child level. I'm still surprised to see a child level being a mascot for these devices, but either way, it's a good looking design. I like it. It's a data type, and it's a good shade of blue. Then we have the child form of Algomon representing the virus slot for this device. And while speculating this past week, I was really scratching my head about who would be representing the vaccine slot for the Nightmare Soldiers device. And while Labramon definitely was not one of the ones that crossed my mind, it was suggested by Purple Flurp, who some of you may know, so good job on him for getting that one right. Labramon has appeared on a Digimon device before on the D arc, but it has not appeared on a virtual pet just yet, so this will be its first appearance on one of those. Now on to the adults. Following the pattern of the other two Pendulum Z devices, they haven't been reusing a lot of Digimon from the original Pendulum series. In fact, they've only included one from each device. Now on the other two, those Digimon were ultimate levels, but this time we have an adult level, that being Devimon. You can't really have a device with a bunch of spooky Digimon on it without including Devimon, now can you? Then we see Flairlizamon making a return appearance from the Digimon XL. This is a hugely underrated Digimon, and a lot of people will probably just say, well, why not just use Meramon? And the answer to that is clear. Meramon is not a lizard, and therefore Flairlizamon is superior. We already knew about Witchmon appearing, again returning from the Pendulum Progress. And then we see the adult form of Algomon, not too much to say about that. And we have Dobermon, who has been featured in a few pets before, the Digimon Pendulum Progress and the Digimon XL. Then we see a bit of a weird inclusion with Mojimon. Mojimon, of course, is from the version 4 of the Digital Monster series, but it's not really been shown as Nightmare Soldiers before. In the card game, it always showed as Nature Spirits, but I guess they think there's something kind of spooky about Mojimon. Not sure what that may be. He is an abominable snowman, I guess, which is a classic monster, so maybe that's what they're thinking. Anyway, we move on to the perfect Digimon, and we start off really strong with Neo Devimon. Neo Devimon hasn't appeared in almost anything. He's a very rarely used Digimon, but he was very notably in the Digimon Pendulum Progress, and I'm also told it was featured in V-Tamer, but I have yet to read V-Tamer, despite the fact that many people have been telling me I absolutely need to. Someday, I promise. Maybe. From the Digital Monster version 5, we have X-Tyrannomon, which, again, a weird choice like Mojimon, but, you know, still spooky. It still counts. Not so much a monster as it is a Halloween costume, but who doesn't love X-Tyrannomon, right? Now, I find this next one pretty interesting because we have Chimeramon, and of course, over on the Deep Savers, we have Marine Chimeramon. So, I don't know if that means anything, but it's definitely interesting, at least to me. Then we have the perfect form of Algomon, and it's not appearing in its worm form, I believe that's what it's called, like it did in the Digimon Adventure reboot. Instead, it's appearing in its original form, so that's nice to see. An interesting thing about that too is that originally Agumon was part of the Jungle Troopers field, but of course here it is in Nightmare Soldiers, and we're probably not getting a Jungle Troopers device, since Jungle Troopers was not one of the original 6 fields used for the Digimon Pendulum series. So it makes sense to put him in Nightmare Soldiers. Up next we have Cerberumon, who we've seen before on the Digimon XL, and we've also seen his X variant on a few other devices. And lastly we have Mummymon, who shouldn't be too surprising since we've been seeing a lot of love for Digimon Adventure 02 in these devices. We of course saw Arachnamon in the Nature Spirits lineup, so of course you gotta have Mummymon if you're going to include Arachnamon. It just wouldn't feel right if you didn't have both of them. Moving on to the ultimate forms, we see Deathmon, who has appeared on a Digimon Virtual Pet before, but not a Japanese one. Deathmon originally did appear on the Digimon Pendulum cycle, but this will be the first time that it does appear on a Japanese Digimon Virtual Pet. Surprising absolutely no one, we have Ancient Sphinxmon, continuing the trend of including Ancient Digimon on these devices. You'll notice on this device we only have one Ancient Digimon and not 2 like on the other ones, and there's probably a good reason for that. There are, of course, only 10 Ancient Digimon, and if we do in fact see 3 more Digimon Pendulum Z devices, which, you know, it's probably gonna happen, no confirmation, but probably gonna happen, we gotta have a few Ancient Digimon left over to use over there. So while Ancient Wisemon may have been a good decision for this, I'm expecting to see Ancient Wisemon in a potential Metal Empire Digimon Pendulum Z device. Now, of course, you couldn't include 5 different Algamon forms without finishing it off with the Ultimate form, so we have Algamon Ultimate right here, and again, not much to say about that. Anubamon is up next, and it has appeared on a few different Digimon electronics, but never before on a virtual pet, so good to see it here. And lastly, we have Megidramon, who was raisable on the Digimon XL, and its X form was raisable on the Digital Monster X. So that leaves us with 3 unknown Digimon that we do not know the identities of. Those could be filled with a wide number of existing Digimon, or maybe they will surprise us with a new Digimon. Impossible to say at this point, we will just have to wait. Apart from these new reveals, we were shown last week that Wormmon along with Stingmon will be appearing on this device as well, as long as you connect it to another one of the Pendulum Z devices. In addition, you'll also be able to raise Agumon and Ognimon along with their evolutions if you connect to both other Pendulum Z devices. With that, there's not much more to say about the Nightmare Soldiers version of the Digimon Pendulum Z, but let's talk for a second about the potential for future versions. This is of course all purely speculation, and we have no evidence whatsoever to say that we will be getting 3 more versions of the Digimon Pendulum Z, but with the format that they're going with here, it definitely does seem likely to me. If we do in fact get 3 additional versions, we would expect those to be Wind Guardians, Metal Empire, and Virus Busters to go along with the original Pendulum series. Of course, for the most part, there's no way of knowing what Digimon may appear on those devices, but there are a few clues that may show us what a few of the Digimon that appear may be. Historically speaking, Digimon Virtual Pets have been pretty separate from the anime. While they definitely take cues from one another, they are very much their own things. However, for the Digimon Pendulum Z, it has taken really big cues from the anime, specifically from Digimon Adventure, Digimon Adventure 02, and Digimon Frontier. For Adventure and Frontier specifically, we see the main protagonist Digimon, Agumon and Ognimon, appearing, so it wouldn't be surprising to see Gabumon, Wolfmon, and their evolutions appearing as unlockable Digimon on the second wave. And that would of course include a certain spoiler Digimon from Last Evolution Kizuna, which I won't say by name here since Bandai has not forced me to this time. As for Digimon Adventure 02, we have half of the main cast of Digimon appearing on this first wave, with Tailmon, Armanimon, and Wormmon, which raises the possibility of seeing Vmon, Hawkmon, and Patamon on a potential second set of device. A cool thing about that, and again this is purely speculative, but we did see last week that neither Wormmon nor Marimon were shown their perfect or ultimate forms, and it seems possible to me that this may have been done on purpose. In Digimon Adventure 02, Ankylomon would Jogress with Angemon to become Shakaumon, while Stingmon would Jogress with XVmon to become Pyildramon. So could it be that these evolutions are only obtainable if you Jogress these specific Digimon from a Wave 1 device with the potential Digimon from a Wave 2 device? I certainly think it's a good possibility, and it would definitely explain why we saw Tailmon's full evolution line from the show, but we didn't see Wormmon or Armanimon's full line. This will also explain why Armanimon would appear on the Deep Saber's device, since Shakaumon was able to Jogress with Zudomon on the D3 to become Vaikmon. And Vikemon is of course a Deep Saber's Digimon. Likewise, that could mean that we would see Grand Kuwagamon on the Nightmare Soldier's device, which, while not as theme appropriate as Vikemon, is still a pretty spooky bug, I would say. Either way, what do you think? Do you think I'm onto something? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think there will be a second wave of devices, or is this all we're getting? I don't know. It's impossible to say right now, so definitely let me know what you think. Since this third roster has been revealed, I'm not sure if we'll be seeing any new updates next Sunday night, but I'll stay up again just to find out if we do or not. And as a reminder, these devices are still up for pre-order, so if you do want to get one, make sure to go secure your pre-order as soon as you can. They are running through July 31st, but the sooner you get it in, the better. That's all for now. I'll talk to all of you later. Bye-bye!